Hey there, it's your favorite swamp witch, Misty Day, and I'm so excited because we got everything tonight. We got our Stevie, we got our Coven, and we got a very special Halloween episode of American Horror Story After Show, so stay tuned.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Hey everybody, welcome to the American Horror Story After Show, and Happy Halloween!
Happy Halloween!
Woo! We're not supposed to perform on Halloween. Expect a Mandrake visit at some point.
Yes.
One of us will be offed, hopefully. Hopefully not before the show is over. But thank you guys for joining us here on Halloween on the AfterBuzz TV After Show for American Horror Story. We're talking about American Horror Story Apocalypse, Season 8, Episode 8, Sojourn. I'm your host, Alana Jordan, a.k.a. Misty Day. And today, we got the full coven. Well, almost the full coven. Jennifer isn't here. Jennifer Leone couldn't make it tonight. She'll be back next week, so send her love on Twitter.
Yes. So, of course, I had to come back from the dead and bless you guys with my presence. Hi, guys. Myrtle Snow here.
Surprise, bitch. I bet you thought you seen the last of me.
I love that we all went like a full-fledged coven, too.
Yeah.
We're
Yes.
like, it's witches, they're back, we're all here for it. We didn't
back
even plan
witches.
that. We just showed up like coven style.
We're
into
here.
it.
Of course.
So thank you guys for making the journey out to see us. We're talking about Sojourn,
Yes.
aka Michael's journey.
Yes.
This was an interesting episode.
Wasn't
Kinda
it?
off the bat, what were your feelings towards this one?
We learned some information, but it was a little slow. I'm not mad at it, but I was not excited.
I'm with you.
Yeah, it definitely seemed like a little filler episode. It was definitely, I think, besides the stuff that we found out at the end, we definitely could have just went without the episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel
Little
like with
disappointed.
us having like a 9.5 rated episode and then a 9.9 episode, we were a little bit spoiled that we had the two highest rated episodes in American Horror Story ever very
Yeah.
close together. I feel like this one was almost intentionally a little bit slower, though, just because I feel
wonder.
like they were
Probably.
like, y'all are all going to be out passing out at your friend Karen's basement, like at her Halloween party. You're not going to be watching this.
Right.
That's true.
We are, though.
We are.
You are, because you guys are the good fans.
Yeah. I just feel like we spent most of the episode learning how Mead was built, and I feel like we could have done that in like 10 minutes or like one
Yeah.
I
segment.
felt like we learned a lot of this on the next episode on last week.
Yeah.
And it's like, if you can tell that much of the story in just the 30 seconds after, it did feel like this one had a little bit of a which we have. I mean, this is still a really solid episode,
Yeah,
but it
yeah.
just wasn't as action-packed as all of the other ones we've
Yeah,
had this
because
season.
I kind of feel like they spent too much time on like Madeline and her story, the lady from the church. So it was just kind of like, you know what I mean? Like we didn't really have to be in
Madeline.
her apartment and her house or whatever that she was at for that long. Like it was like, okay, could have gave him a little meal and then that was it. Like
Right.
it was the next, like
Yeah,
next
there
segment.
was a lot going on, but it did leave us some good wiggle room to make some good predictions. And later
Yeah.
on this episode, we'll be making our predictions as well. If you guys have any awesome predictions or just want to chime in, Ashley's hanging out in the chat.
Yes, join us in the chat. Let us know what you think about our costumes. I mean,
Yes.
we tried as hard as we can, so don't make fun of us.
Wait, and let us know
nice
you guys
things.
dressed up too. I'm like, we didn't get any pictures,
Well,
but
we
I'm like,
did actually.
Oh,
We're
you
gonna
did?
have
Look, I
a couple
wondered.
pictures at the very end of the episode as well. But I know a lot of people are going to be dressing up tonight as well.
Yeah.
So we want to get all of
yes,
those
still
photos
send us
from
your
you
pictures.
guys.
Even if your kids dressed up, look, send those too.
Send those. Send all
And I
of
did
it.
a little Twitter poll for mine because I couldn't pick who I wanted to be. So thank you for everybody who voted.
Yes.
Awesome.
Misty won by
We love a good Misty
50%
day.
was Misty. Like the other three were like, nobody gave a crap
We
about
love a good Misty
Constance.
day.
I was like, really? I got a wig for this. Oh well. But anyway, diving into this episode, we have just a direct pickup from last episode where Baldwin, Ariel, and Mead have become ash.
Burned at the stake.
They're literal ash holes at this point. From assholes to ashholes. Now, Michael, quite perturbed. He is not too thrilled about this because he, of course, can touch everything and get the visions and know Of course, that flashback to creepy ass Kathy Bates laughing.
God.
dang.
God, she's so good.
That was
Yeah.
so cringeworthy. It was like, yeah, it was so
like,
good for
we're
TV, but it was
seeing
like, oh.
again. But of course, Cordelia, bleeding heart witch that she is
Girl.
like, there's still humanity in you. I can still bring it
Get
out.
it
There's love.
together.
Let's
I
get
was like, no, you could not be serious.
It's like,
kill
I
some
love
witches.
people like her, but at the same time, it's like, let's be real. Because sometimes being that naive can get you hurt.
That's
I
what
thought
I'm
he
saying.
was gonna hurt
Both
her.
of us have died.
Yes.
Both Misty
And
and Myrtle
us.
have died. She loved both of us.
Wait, all three of us have died. And
Oh,
it's like,
oh my God, you're right. Madeline died too. Like, she had her throat slit.
I'm
Yeah,
like,
we've all died
yeah,
and
we've
been
all
resurrected.
Yeah.
Witches be crazy. Straight up. Kill Michael. Kill Michael. Ugh. Don't reach out your hand. Ugh. That was the one I
To
was
be
like,
honest,
Cordelia, come on.
I don't know why I felt like I honestly thought Michael was gonna like be able to kind of touch them and then bring them back. Like I didn't think he was gonna be like, oh my God, they're dead. Like they're really gone. I can't do anything about it. Like I was like,
Well,
oh.
that was a really cool point that they made to make sure that Cordelia said, no, I put a special spell on
Yes.
her to hide her soul. You'll never find her again. Because I think otherwise we all would have been like, what?
Yeah.
He'll find a
What?
way.
So
Yeah.
the writers are very clever in that regard, I would say. To,
Definitely.
Because it was just one quick line, and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Then, unfortunately, something not quick for Michael was his summoning spell for his daddy. He's trying to call up his dad. Dad is not answering for 4
At all.
days straight. Dad has gone full Adele, like, every time I call, you're not home. Like,
Yes.
no, thank you. And Michael, as one does when they haven't eaten or drank anything for 4 days, starts hallucinating. This is kind of cool, though, that this is still kind of in, like, the mortal realm at this
Yeah.
point, is that it's like, okay, but nothing's really happened. Like, he's still,
Yeah.
like, this lost kid. I don't know. I thought this hallucination scene, though,
It was kind of weird. Yeah, I was like, okay, you
Yeah.
have the Adam and Eve reference. You had the little girl with the apple, like, here, just eat an apple, like it'll be okay, type of thing. And then it was like, you had what was the guy's name? The Satan leader.
Come to the light.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
who.
yeah,
And then the
and then-
Satan
Oh,
leader
yeah.
kind of just popped up, like, hey, my son, or whatever. Like,
Yeah,
and
it's
then
a
it was
good
like Dean was
job.
on the bed with a whole different accent too. I was
Yeah.
like, oh,
I
this
was
is different.
totally confused. And then why is it always kids when it comes to creepy stuff? How come it's always kids?
Little kids are creepy, especially like little
gosh.
children of the corn kids too, that are
Yeah.
like offering you something. It's like, don't take it, whatever it is, don't
Yeah.
take it. They have
But-
so many like biblical references in here,
Yeah.
but like slightly twisted. Like,
Because the goat.
yeah,
Yeah.
the goat, having the goat and then slicing it, having the snakes come out, and we see that kind of call back to when Michael had the snake
Yeah.
power.
Yeah,
And he was there for 4 days.
in that
4
circle.
days.
That's crazy.
That's
In that
intense.
circle.
I mean, like, I get mad if somebody doesn't call me back on my cell phone in 4 days. If
That's
I'm
a
just
lot.
waiting in the woods, like,
Yeah.
There's
Say
no,
what
there's
up,
no
man.
animals.
Just, you
nothing
can't
messed
even-
with him for that 4 days. No
it's
bath. No.
insane.
no
Even like
brushing
give him
his
like a
teeth.
thunderstorm or something, like a hey, I see you. I'm not gonna give you like a play-by-play of what to do, but like, you know, you're good, bro.
Give me a
Don't-
sign. Yeah.
Get out of the woods.
Yeah.
Taylor
Nothing.
Swift is wrong. We are not out of the woods. However, this is when we see him stumble into the church, the satanic church, which, by the way, oh my gosh, I'm blanking on the actress's name who plays the preacher. Help me out in the chat here,
yeah.
guys.
I totally forgot
Phenomenal
her name. But she
comedian.
did amazing.
I
Yeah.
love her. I can't believe I'm blanking. I'm such a big fan of hers too. Friggin' hilarious. That I was like, this whole episode was basically them just being like, hey, we have amazing talent, showcase it.
Yeah.
And I love that it was basically just her voice. If you've ever seen her stand up, it's like very similar. And she's making puns that of course I love. And she's like, I'm sick of preaching to the choir, as she's literally preaching to the choir.
I need to be inspired.
Oh, I love it. I just thought that whole thing with Hannah talking, which was interesting to me though, kind of, I mean, I don't want to get too much into political commentary because I know that was all last season's whole
Yeah.
big thing. But the Satanists who were asking, which anybody who I know there are actual Satanists who watch this show that are going to be like, what the actual hell is this? Because this isn't what it's about.
Yeah.
But in the confines of this show, Just like people got kind of annoyed with us last week for referencing them as warlocks. We're always going to say warlocks because that's what they say in the show.
That's what it is.
We're using the terminology from the show. We're not trying to defend you.
Witches, like,
Yeah.
We're putting our foot down. That's what it is, all right?
We have to use the terminology
It
from the show.
It seems too long to say male witches anyway. It's like,
Yeah,
warlocks.
they're just like, they just
leave it
wanted
as
to
that.
like keep it quick. But having them say, you know, I took $100 from the register. I slept with my wife's
Girlfriends,
sister.
yeah,
It's not enough.
It's not enough. Like, I stole money from a nursing home. I robbed a nursing home to pay for the NRA. But then they're like, our president's a douche nozzle. And I was like, I would think that you would be on board with that. Like,
They've never.
it seems even weird that the Satanists are like, too much.
And
I
then it
just
was
thought
like,
that was
who's the
interesting.
president? They didn't even really like acknowledge like who was the actual person like posing as the president of
That's
the.
true.
Of that
I thought it was
time
gonna be her.
period.
Like, you know what I mean? I'm assuming it was her, but it's like, I don't know.
I feel like that was just Ryan Murphy's team being
Just
like,
writing it
subtle
in there.
dig, anytime we can, we're tossing it in.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then just because they always have these pop culture references, even being like, you probably showed up because you saw it on Yelp. It had a 5-star review with free donuts. And I was like, that is a very LA thing, you know,
is.
to just be like, oh,
Yelp.
there's free donuts? We'll go to the whatever, church of whatever.
Yeah, because it's funny because if you go on Yelp, you can sign, like, if you have an account, you can sign in and get, like, a free smoothie or something if you go to some places, you know what I mean? So it's
Yeah.
probably, like, the whole little free donut reference is, like, a free little offer that they give you.
God, that's so funny. But basically saying everybody who shows up is confused and scared. This was your situation. Then she goes on her whole weird ass Madeline tirade about like what she's getting from the church. What did you guys think about this? Because I felt like it was trying really hard to be funny, but I felt like that was the issue, is it was trying.
She sounded like
Definitely
she was
so.
reading a brochure.
Yeah, I don't.
And, like, I was ready for her to shut up.
I was too. I was like, where's this going?
Yeah.
I thought he was going to stab her when he walked up and he had his hand behind his back. Like, I just assumed he had a knife, and I was like, oh, he's about to kill this bitch. And I was like, oh, no, she's just going to keep talking.
He was so opening to all these people to just kind of like see what where their head was at.
Yeah.
Which was weird, too, because she was, like, offering him food and being nice, and then they were saying, well, that's a bad thing in our church. And it's like, even the confines of your church, like, the rules that you've set up don't really... I get that we're supposed to, like... just hate them and they're not supposed to have redeeming qualities, and that's the way they've set it up in this show. But I don't know. I felt like it was a little bit strained.
It
in
was
that
just a
moment.
tad.
Just because like the whole thing of like, I mean, I did like when they were explaining how the world is a black hole of sin and chaos. And,
Yeah.
I mean, just all the kind of what seemed like they would be MySpace taglines. But when she was going into like, we go to Black Mass so that we can kill people, so that we can get our powers, and my power is a lazy boy, a whole bunch of cable channels,
Yeah.
the ability to shoot heroin and not sweat,
And then
and
having
then
Ryan
Brad
Reynolds
Pitt, and then Ryan
on
Reynolds.
Thursdays.
Yeah, and they kept making this Ryan Reynolds reference, like Ryan Reynolds, like that he just goes to bang members of the Church of Satan.
on
Is there
Thursdays.
something we should know about
Like,
Ryan
yeah.
Reynolds?
Ryan
I felt like this
Reynolds.
was just like it was like an inside joke
Yeah.
almost, where I was like, but we don't get this joke.
I didn't get the whole Ryan. I'm like, is this like a Deadpool type of thing? I don't know. But
Plus, like, some of the things, the benefits of joining the church, I'm like, well, you can get those things if you have a job. So I don't understand.
on Wednesdays, like you just get a potluck on Wednesdays.
What are we really
Yeah.
offering here?
It's like, it seems like a lot to be like murdering people. And how often does this happen that they're like performing ritualistic sacrifice on
Yeah.
people that they have kidnapped and none of them are caught like at any point? Like there's a lot of people in this church. At some point, you would think somebody would be like, hey, heads up.
Yeah.
They're slitting throats in here. It's not cool.
And they seem like regular people too, especially because the girl was like, "Yeah, you know, I just stole $100 out the cash register." And it's just
Yeah.
like, where'd you find her at Kohl's? Like,
It seemed like, yes, the Satanists at Kohl's.
she just has like a regular job.
Every
But I guess
time they're
it
like,
is
your coupon's expired. I'm like, I knew it.
She's like, I'm gonna take this $100 out the register.
But yeah, when he's saying like he's the one that they've been waiting for, and she gets all angry and she's gonna slit his throat, but instead he shows the mark of the beast.
Yeah.
The mark
I didn't
of the
know what the heck it was at first.
Yeah.
It just looks so funny.
I'm glad that they explained it, but it was like a weird thing. Like I was like, this can't be a little bit more menacing. It looks like how it looks when my cat bites me. Like I was like, you know, like I was
Oh
like,
my God, Alana, no, that's infecting.
that's, oh no, oh God, did I just reveal the mark of the beast?
I'm like, no, Elena, that's infected. Get it checked.
But yeah, it
Because
was
that
just
looks really like creepy. Like every time he shows it, I'm just like, ew. Get some Neosporin for that.
It took me forever to even realize what it was. Like, it just looked like an infection at first.
Like an infection triangle
I didn't realize
type
that
of
it
thing.
was 666 until halfway through
I
the
didn't even
episode.
realize it at all. I never
That's
saw
what it
that.
was.
I kept looking at it. I was like, that looks like a cat bite. Maybe I just get bit by my cat.
To be honest, I don't know if I'm like tripping or not, but I feel like the first time they showed it, it kind of went down like in a straight line, like the pattern, like the path of his ear a little bit, and then
Okay.
it seemed like this time it was kind of like in a little triangle type of thing.
Oh,
So I was like,
maybe.
oh, it looked a little different. Yeah, because I was like, this episode, I was like, ew, it looks like an infection. But I was just like, oh,
Yeah,
I
it
mean,
just
it is the
looks weird.
666, but
the
it's like, I think
666
it was in a
mark.
straight line at one point.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah, I didn't even pick up on that. So I'm
We'll see.
sure. Oh well. But I did like that they, you know, they kind of dive into the whole thing of the church and the beliefs of the church, and then how they're interconnected, and basically lets us know that now Michael not only has this ability to recreate Mead, but in the future he's going to have a lifeline to an entire network of people all over the world.
Right.
He can give out information and have it dark search to everyone. So that was pretty cool information that they didn't really play up too much.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I like that you guys are dropping this in so that it could potentially come back later without really hitting it on the head as
Yeah.
much as some of the other stuff.
It was something to just kind of like keep a mental note of.
Yeah,
Right.
because then they go to like the whole thing, like, I mean, really playing in how we're supposed to hate this group of individuals because we see like the human sacrifice and the volunteer all sinners church. I did choir, the volunteers
All
all
Sinners
sinners
choir.
choir.
That
I was
was
like,
hilarious.
okay, I meant that. That did make me laugh. But and then her whole line about like, why does it rain? It's like because God's peeing his pants because
Oh
they're
my
so good. I'm
goodness.
like, oh my gosh, y'all.
Who wrote her lines?
But I think she probably did. I'm like, it just feels like her stand-up. I love
Yeah.
her so much.
Her name is, by the way,
I'm like, did we get it?
Sandra
Oh,
Bernhardt.
Sandra Bernhardt.
Wow.
Sandra Bernhardt.
Thanks, guys, in chat.
Thank you guys.
Amazing
Yeah,
job,
Sandra Bernhardt,
Amazing
who
job.
basically is just Sandra Bernhardt if she was a satanic cult
Yeah.
leader.
Exactly.
No.
I'm gonna have to go back and watch her stand-up sidebar.
Oh my God, she's so good. She's so funny. And I love too, she's very like feminist comedy, and I feel like that's another thing that Ryan, like this whole season, they're like, okay, ladies, this one's for you. Like, which, whatever. You guys, I know, again, shout out to the comments, a bunch of angry dudes in the chat, but
Yeah.
we mixed our wine with the tears of those who say negative things about us in the chat.
We
and
did.
We think it's delicious.
But you know what? That's okay because we love you guys anyway. And we want you guys to know that us here at AfterBuzz, we are a network that produces after shows for you in all of your favorite TV shows, from dramas, reality TV, sci-fi, and more. There's no network that works harder to serve you guys as television fans. But of course, we need your help. You guys know this. So we're asking that you please subscribe to one or more of our YouTube channels. And by subscribing to our channel, YouTube will suggest content that is tailor-made for you and will help you and help AfterBuzz continue to grow. And if you're worried about pesky notifications, don't worry because they're optional. So make sure you hit that subscribe button for this channel and check out all of the other channels that we offer here at AfterBuzz. And let us know you did so in the comments and we'll give you a shout out on air. So you guys know what to do. If you have any questions, you know where to find us. And for now, we want to thank you guys for letting us be the ESPN of TV talk.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, let's not forget our iTunes and Spotify.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
iTunes. It's so cool being on Spotify
Too. I
now,
know, it's
too.
like, ooh, fancy.
Yeah. But I will say, if you're just listening to us this week, this is a week that you should either hop on YouTube at some point
Yes.
or check our Twitter
Yes.
just to see how good we look. 'Cause we're dressed up. We look pretty good.
I'm like, we'll be back to our regular selves next week.
Yes.
Next week, it's like, we'll still be cute, but we'll be us.
Yes.
We're new
Out of
cute.
character.
Unfortunately, not too cute for Letitia and Theodore, as they spent their whole life being good people, and this church is not down with that.
man.
To further their message, they want the world to be just a little bit shittier, so let's take two good people out. And
It was a
Phil.
double sacrifice.
Phil from Gawker.
Oh my goodness.
This also with the subtle Me Too reference, like he's
was.
out because he did some shady shit.
Yeah.
And then turned. I was like, again, I see you.
Yeah.
So it was kind of funny to see Sandra Bernhardt like, oh yeah, that's the worst, right?
Yeah,
I'm
get rid
like,
of
when
him.
all of her stand-ups like, on y'all.
Yeah.
But yeah, having Madeline rush in and just announce this is our new Dark Lord, they didn't question it too much. They just looked at the Dark Mark and immediately were like, okay, sorry, Phil. Sucks to be Phil. Like,
Yeah,
how
like,
you feeling, Michael?
I was
Murdery?
expecting them to sort of question him like how he was at the end of the episode. So I was actually really shocked. Like you said,
Yeah.
that they didn't do anything.
Or give him some
besides
type of test. It was just like he just pulled his hair back and like had them like, what if I just went and got a tattoo of that and I just showed up
Right.
like, oh, I'm the leader. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I was like, I thought that it would have been a little bit more than that, but
right?
oh well. I am glad though, if it is Halloween, somebody named Michael killed somebody.
Right.
It's like you have to have
Michael
that.
Myers.
Somebody got a knife and got real stabby
Michael
on
Myers,
Halloween.
Michael
Yeah.
Langdon, you know.
Why not? As long as we have some sort of Halloween reference, we'll take it.
Yeah.
But yeah, Fortuna is like playing in the background and just like crescendoing. That was a really cool scene. But it was also, we've seen so much cool stuff up to this point that I feel like when it cut off there, it didn't have quite as big of an emotional impact.
Okay.
Just because last week everything was so crazy.
Yeah.
You're right.
You know, like I feel like that was supposed to be a moment that we were all like, wow, and I was like, okay, but what's next?
That's exactly how I felt.
So we have a cool observation here from Sebastian in the chat. He said, "Did you notice that previous actors from other seasons were members of the cult in the church?"
Who? Look, I know. I didn't even
Dope.
notice.
Who? I didn't notice.
That's interesting. I didn't see that either.
I kind of feel like they
Well,
didn't.
I
Like,
did
they
know
panned
Phil.
across-
Phil was like we've seen Phil before, but I didn't notice when they went around.
I think
We'll
I
have
feel
to
like
watch
they
again.
panned kind of fast. Like, you know what I mean? It wasn't like a slow pan for us to kind
Yeah.
of like see who's in the in the audience. It was just
Well,
kinda
the
like,
actress who played Pepper too was the like mystery child that was Constance's
Yeah.
child too.
Yeah.
That they panned so quickly. They just do these things that are like little small things.
That's
that-
actually good though, because it's like you still kind of have a job at the end of the day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you think you did one season, you're like, dang, I try to get a
Well,
next
it's
one or
nice,
whatever. But it's like, no,
too.
we're gonna keep you on.
yeah, that he uses a lot of the same actors even
Yeah.
across the board.
Yeah.
Like he finds people that he works well with, and that really comes across on screen. Is that all of these people, just in all of the roles that they're given,
Yeah.
are
Yeah.
phenomenal.
They're
So
like a big little family.
yeah, a big little family. But yeah, so the congregation is basically trying to get on Michael's good side by giving him all this food at the potluck, and he's like, "Okay, cool. Like,
Try the potato
leave me
salad.
alone. Try the potato salad. Did you have my spinach lasagna? Like, try the spinach lasagna,
Try the
and then
turkey
let's talk about
meatballs."
global annihilation." Yeah. I was like, that's kind of a big leap from spinach lasagna to global annihilation,
Right.
but all right, let's just jump right in. Yeah, I feel kind of sad for him almost at this point, where
Yeah.
it's like all these people are looking to him, and he's like, I have no idea what to do. Like, I've just been told. Everybody
Yeah.
keeps telling me you're this important person. No one tells me what to do. You're all looking to me for leadership. I'm a kid still. At this
Yeah.
point,
He's definitely like 18.
yeah, he's
Yeah.
still like a teenager. He's still a child. So it's like, okay. Well, they're like, but we're on the precipice of oblivion, which, by the way, new band name. I'm calling it. Precipice of Oblivion.
That actually
is
kind of
like,
sounds epic. Like, I
That's
probably.
an epic, yeah.
You guys gonna
1,
see
2, 3, 4.
Precipice of Olivia? I mean, it sounds kind of long, like POO, like.
Yeah, kind of like this episode a little bit, but
God.
but yeah. So this is when they basically set up. We have this whole secret network of people who have sold their souls.
Yeah.
I did like this kind of subtle reference though, where they're like, "If this was a hotel, I'm taking you to the penthouse," and I was like, "Hotel reference." I was
Okay.
like, but are we going to go back to hotel, or is that all you're going to do for us? Because
I'm kind of glad we didn't go back to hotel.
Yeah.
Really?
Like, I would have been
I love
like,
hotel.
I think it would have just took us for a whole nother loop. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It would have just been something
That
else for
would've
us to
thro-
figure
oh,
out.
yeah.
Like, it would have been like, okay, all right, we only got 2 episodes left. Ryan, like, where else are we
It would have been
going?
confusing for no reason.
Yeah, that's true. This
I was
I do
definitely
think that it's
wondering
smarter
how-
that they are, even if it does feel like it was kind of stretched, that they didn't add in a whole bunch of things that weren't going to be resolved, because we only have 2 episodes left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is kind of insane. I'm like, this seems like there's still a lot left to
Yeah.
to
Even
see
just the
what
preview
happens.
from last week, I was definitely wondering, like, how, you know, like Brock and, or I forgot his name, and then Evan Peters' characters, like, how they played that. I was like, where is this going
Jeff
to
and
tie
Mutt.
in? Yeah,
Yeah.
Jeff and Mutt. I was, like, wondering how, like, that was going to come in, like, Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah. Which,
Even Give Me Shelter in the chat says this was a throwaway episode. Yes, we found out where Miss
sure.
Venable came from and how Miss Mead was turned into a robot, but yawn.
it was a
was
little. I
definitely
mean,
young.
Madeline was funny, like when she's totally lost it at the end, when she's like, you know, if you talk to your dad, ask him if I can be in the worst part of hell, because that's the best part of hell. And it's like, oh my God,
I
Madeline,
have
all
a
right, you're
blistering,
nutters.
burning. What did she say,
Yeah.
death or something? I was like, whoa, lady.
I'm like, okay, well, you have a very different mentality than Jeff and Mutt, who are like, can we have a giant thing of blow? Can you
Oh
just,
my! Bowl and a ladle.
a ladle of blow, and maybe if you could put that bowl on our heads after so we can recut our hair, that would be great. I feel like that's how they cut it. Is they
were
just
like,
finish the.
I was the whole Dumb and Dumber wigs, like, for sure. Like,
Oh my God,
that's
I was
exactly
losing
how
it.
they acted too. They for sure acted like Dumb and Dumber. I forgot the characters' names that Jim Carrey and I want to say Dana Carvey, but I forgot the other guy's name from Full House. I
Jeff,
forgot his name. Yeah, Jeff.
Oh my God, why am I blanking? Help us
Yeah,
out in the chat
I'm
again.
like, totally
Help
blanking.
us.
You guys know. Look, I'm like, you guys know who played Dumb and Dumber.
But yeah, so God, they were so funny, and this just their job is robotics techs for porn dolls.
I was about to say,
basically.
so I'm like, they're making like porn
like
toys.
sex dolls,
like,
yeah.
I know,
That have like realistic hand job movements. And I'm
Yeah.
like,
And it was funny because the 2 like dolls that they kind of had in the back, I noticed they were like real women. I was
Yeah.
like the black girl that was kind of sitting in the back. I was like, oh, that's like a real person.
Yeah.
Like the makeup
very
and
like
stuff.
Westworldian.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Exactly.
okay. Yeah, it did feel like a little bit of like a Westworld reference, especially to like having the really clean walls and like the straight lines and
Yeah,
everything.
Very
like
sterile.
yeah, and then having them call Venable, their secretary, babe. Hey, babe, can you bring us some more blow?
Who was dressed to the T?
Oh my
Yes,
God,
that
I
beautiful
know.
outfit,
I love
yes.
that outfit.
I was like, I want that outfit as my Halloween costume
Yes.
every year. And by Halloween,
It's
I mean
like, ooh,
every
next
day.
year. Like,
Yeah.
ooh, next year. Purple
And my
suit.
whole house is purple too. So I was
I love
like,
her.
I
Girl,
feel
purple's
ya.
my favorite color, yeah.
But she's like, purple is her
everything.
thing. Just like debasing yourself is yours. I'm like,
Yeah.
snaps! Also, burning you is her thing. Also, what Michael does. Yeah, that poor girl. We never even got her name, and it was
I
just
know.
like verbal burn, then literal burn. I'm like,
She was like the
damn.
intern. The
Yeah.
receptionist
It's
intern.
like anytime his eyes go back, you already know it's
Oh,
about to go
Bad
down.
things are
Or just
yeah.
like a stare in general. Like he
Yeah.
just kind of gives like some deathly stare, and she's like, "No, I can
Ugh.
already feel the darkness." And
Yeah,
then his eyes
she's like,
started
"No."
rolling back. I was like,
Oh,
"Okay,
no.
no, that's
It's
him
over.
getting warmed
Which
up."
Jeff and Mutt too. I don't understand. Like, I mean, they're smart and stupid at the same time.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like many of my IT friends. I'm like, I can say that because I just hang out with them for the stupid part, so it's not an insult. Because I'm not helping with any IT things. But they are very interesting characters because they're sending dog crap to Mark Zuckerberg, like fourth class mail, while they're simultaneously buying an island to hang out with Rihanna. Which I love that you caught the reference
Yeah.
from Ocean's 8.
Yeah, I was like, if you guys didn't notice, you know, Sarah Paulson and Rihanna were just in Ocean's 8, so I was
Yes.
like, ooh,
Love it. I was like, smart.
way to throw her in there.
But yeah, and them talking about how they don't OD, and they're like, it's a devil of a mystery. Like, I was like,
And the
okay,
devil
I
shows
appreciate
up.
the pun, but I didn't know that was a thing, that apparently, like, Satanists just don't OD. Like, that's like heroin, coke, do whatever you want. Like, I feel like they have to be setting that up to tell us something later.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
that has
And
to
that
come
was
into play.
That was another
everybody's on
reference.
drugs.
Yeah, and then that was another reference that Evan said too, because he was like, yeah, and then we get, you know, he was like, we bang Victoria's Secret models on Tuesdays, and then we get Ryan Reynolds on Thursdays. So it's like another Ryan Reynolds thing
Yeah,
again.
what
like,
is
That was
it?
the
and then
Ryan Reynolds
like,
callback
Ryan
too. I was
Reynolds
like,
is showing up with the guys now too. First it was grandma, now it's with the guys. Like,
yeah, I was like, I don't get the Ryan Reynolds thing. I'm like, that just felt
I
like
don't
a
either.
private joke that I was like, that felt like an inside
I'm
joke.
like, well, what's
I
Well,
love
if any of
Ryan
our
Reynolds. I know
viewers
he's
know-
really funny. That like, I mean, he
Yeah.
like posts like weird stuff
him
all the
and Blake
time. but-
Lively's like relationship is funny. Like,
So funny.
Yeah.
Just, like, troll
how
each
they
other all the
post, but I'm
time.
like, I didn't get that one. That one went over my head.
Yeah, I didn't quite get it either. But I was like, I know this is supposed to be funny from the delivery, but okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did love when Venable was like, "Don't ever call me babe."
Yeah, because I was definitely questioning that. I was like, oh, wait, hold on. Is this like Brock and Venable kind of had like a whole little relationship? And then I was like, maybe that's where he's at. Because, we still haven't seen Brock like come appear from the bunker when he came and killed Coco. So it's like, where's
Right.
Brock at, But I was like, oh, okay, well, I'm glad she cleared that. She's not his babe.
She's not
It
the
was
one.
like, sorry, Jeff and Mutt, you cannot disrespect. This is what is weird though, is because they're even like, sometimes I think she hates our guts. I'm like, okay, well, we don't see them again. Are we supposed to? I'm assuming Venable is probably going to kill them. I feel like everybody just kills everybody
Probably.
on the show.
She seems like she has that power. You know what I mean? She's kind of just like
Yeah.
posing as a receptionist, but at the end of the day, like, she knows.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, Jeff and Mutt are saying everything that we're thinking. Where they're like, Madeline, that lady's whacked, right? Like,
And I wonder, like, since we've seen this side of her, what happened to make her from what we saw today to what we saw in the beginning
apocalypse.
of the season?
I would imagine.
I guess.
They gave her power.
True.
That's true,
Yeah. From
I didn't even
receptionist
think
to like
about that.
powerful leader.
huh?
But I was with them too when they meet Michael and they're like, I picture you as like you're gonna be more jacked. And then I feel like
The
that
Rock
was just
before
a
he was The
yeah.
Rock. Like.
I feel like that was just a shout out to like all the people in the comments for American Horror Story in general who have been saying that they're like, that's not cool, man. Like that's
Yeah.
that's stereotypical.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, that's just a direct like, what up, fans?
It
We
is.
heard you and we're telling you to F off.
Ooh, we have a good question in the chat from Raina91. What happens to all the Satanists in the end, and do they get their rewards for being faithful in hell?
I mean, they
Are we gonna
seem
get
to
to
think
see
they
that?
do. I don't know.
I'm like, I kind of wonder, because it's like, I wonder if Evan Peters' character is going to go from being like Mutt to going to be the hairdresser. You know what I mean? So it's like, are they being rewarded?
they're not the same people.
Oh,
They just have
okay.
the same actor playing multiple. Like every season, they have the
Right,
same actor
okay,
play
yeah.
with multiple characters. So
Okay,
they're not.
because
the
I'm
same
thinking like,
character.
because Venable is going to carry over. You know what I mean?
no,
So I'm thinking they were
yeah.
going to. Okay.
Well, yeah, Venable's the only one.
All I
think.
know is in these next 2 episodes, I want to see more Evan Peters. Like, this is not
sure.
fair.
I
at all,
love
okay?
him.
He must be working. Oh,
he's
wait,
so
because he's
good.
working on a movie, isn't he? Sidebar. I'm like, I think he has a movie coming out, so he
Okay.
wasn't like too in this season. You know what I mean? He probably had other projects going
I'd be
on.
happy to see a lot more of him.
I love
Yes.
Evan Peters. I'm like, he's
so
he
funny.
definitely made him and Sarah Paulson are American Horror Story, and then like Jessica Lange too. So it's like they are American Horror Story. You can't have a season without
Having
them.
all
Yes.
of them in this season was just
Yeah.
so dope.
Epic.
But he's smart too because he's the first one to be like, yeah, it just looks like a tattoo on your neck. Like,
Yeah.
like we
like,
were like,
what? I mean, that's
what's up?
cool, man. But like, I thought it was gonna be peeing my pants and tries the Sahara, bro. Like, what's up?
the girl's like, no, wait, no, I feel
feel
the
it.
darkness.
Yeah.
Darkness.
God, poor thing.
She felt
Just
the
like-
darkness too. Like,
She felt the darkness and the light.
yeah.
It's
like, damn, you shouldn't have said anything,
ignited.
girl. Like, I would have been like, oh, I don't get it either.
I did like that they have these little references too, though, when they're saying the reason that they joined the church was because they worked for a company. They did all this non-disclosure agreement stuff. They weren't given any opportunities to advance. And then they're even like, did Elon do anything about it? And I was like, Elon Musk, look at y'all, like just dropping that in like super subtly. Everybody's been hating on Elon Musk. Like he got like, there are 3 references this week in different TV shows.
Oh, goodness.
I was
was
like,
like,
oh, I didn't
what
catch
did
him.
he
Like, what's going
do?
on with him?
I don't know.
I'm
It's like he
is Tesla
shot
having
his
an
car
issue?
into
Look, I know, I
space,
was
which is like,
is Tesla
I think that's
having
pretty
an issue?
dope. People, I don't know, whatever. If I had a ton of money, I would shoot my car into space too. Why
Right?
not? Be Batman or just shoot your car into space. But yeah, so they basically are saying, what can we do for you? We will do anything that we can. And he's saying, I want you to bring back Mead.
That's the only thing he asked for.
Yeah, I've gotten all of this information. Madeline got, here's everything on her. Make it happen. And then they're like, okay, we're going to make her a Mossad. We're going to make like the best version of her, like 240 terabyte memory, 11,000 processing cores, like this
funny 'cause they were
nanowire battery.
They were like, "Psh, bro, that's all you want? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
that's all
like,
you're asking
no
for? We
big.
can
We're
do
just
that.
going to
I know, like,
recreate a
we can do
person
that
to
in
the
like 2
T.
minutes. No worries. And he's
It's
just
just-
like, oh my God.
Well,
She
I mean,
looks so
apparently they've done this before because they're saying like this, we can't just recreate her. We have to make her better
Yeah.
Right.
than she was because
It's like, ooh, how many
this is
other
our
robots
client.
are there out there?
Yeah, that's what I was like. Oh, this is like an interesting like Cylon thing that they've added in. That it's like, oh, okay, so we're
Yeah.
just supposed to assume robots have kind of walked among us, and we get the information that if you tell the AI too early that they are AI, then they'll go into an
just gonna
existential
say that,
crisis.
yeah.
Yeah.
Jeff kind of gave us that little gem.
Yeah, that they're gonna like kill themselves or others. That's like okay, a little
Interesting.
foreshadowing there.
Definitely was a foreshadow because I'm like, didn't Michael tell her? You know what I mean? He eventually told her.
Yeah, he
like,
did. He was like, "This is this," which she didn't freak out at that point, but
Well,
it's like
that's
that's
because she
why
had
he
been-
put the memory. Yeah,
She had been pretending to be somebody else.
Yeah,
Well,
she
play another role before.
She kind of knew. She was
been
like, oh, well, I mean,
reprogrammed. Yeah.
I'm still gonna be like, you know, your server or whatever type of thing. Like, I'm still gonna be like faithful to you, whatever. So.
Yeah.
the Canaris Robotics Battle Axe Maria Mead 2.0.
I kind of like that name, the
dun.
Canaros Robotics Team. Like,
Yeah, I was
that's
like,
kinda
that's epic. The name again, a little long. Theme of the episode. But man, Kathy Bates, that very last.
last little
Like I was like,
seconds,
that
yeah.
saved it. It's just like her eyes with the foley of like the
Yeah.
robot, and her just like, oh Michael, I've missed you.
It's like so creepy. Like, Kathy, pretend you're a robot, and she's just like, okay, like she just did that so
so
perfectly.
good.
Doesn't even have
Like,
to say anything.
I know, and then it was like add the sound effects. It just made everything just like, oh,
Yeah.
amazing.
So
Love
good.
her.
So kind of just overall last thoughts on this episode. What are you guys feeling? We only have 2 episodes left.
I honestly, I don't really know what's gonna happen. You know, especially like because of I don't know. I'm anxious about what is actually gonna happen, but I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know either. I'm like, I kind of feel like it's like, no, at this point you need to throw like a bunch of like, no, next week needs to be like 2 hours.
Yes.
Because it's like, no, I just feel like, oh no, but it's like at the same time we kind of seen, you know, what's coming up next. So it's like, I think it's bringing around the full circle, but it's like,
Yeah.
I don't
Full
know.
pentagram in this case.
We've been getting a lot of background information to make what we've already seen make sense.
Yeah.
Now, like you said, I'm ready for it all to tie in together and
Cohesive.
get the final story.
But it's like, wow, you guys are gonna leave us with the last 2 episodes to do it in, like, so
Yeah.
Well, what do
should
you
have kind
guys
of been
say?
like a halfway point. Like the last 5 should have kind of brought us back around, you know. But
Well,
we'll see.
We'll see, maybe. I don't know. Because I'm like, that's kind of what they tried to do with Roanoke, and I was like,
I
well,
would say yeah.
yeah. So I
run
was
out of
like,
material.
what they're doing this season so far, they've been doing pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what do you guys say we dive into a little bit of predictions
Yes,
here?
why not?
Why not?
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Extra spooky predictions for Halloween. Well, I personally predict that we are going to finish this wine after the show and
way.
all of this candy. What do you guys predict?
I predict that I'm gonna be drinking Theraflu as soon as I leave here. That's what's gonna happen.
I definitely predict I'll be in my bed resting. But I'm like, I think my overall thing is just like, I just want more. You know what I mean? I think this
Yeah.
next episode, it just has to be a little more jam packed.
Yeah, I'm ready for Michael that we saw in the first few episodes. Like, I'm ready for stuff to blow up, wind to be blowing everywhere. Like, I'm ready for some stuff to pop off.
We need 28-year-old
Yeah.
Michael instead of 18-year-old.
Yeah,
That's what I'm. Yeah,
The
I'm
next
ready
10
for
years,
grown up
you know?
Michael. Like, when is this going to happen? We know that there are 3 stages, and they even say, like, in the whole vision that he has is the 3 basically states of you are, who you've been, and who you can become.
Yes.
So and we literally see him in that moment, who he is, this stage Michael, who he was, the child Michael, who then jumps to this one, and who he will become will be who he jumps to the next one.
Yeah.
So I feel like that was a little foreshadowing as to, hey, you're about to have a big age jump.
Yeah.
Like, it'll all make sense when you have your 3rd leap into, or I guess for him, 2nd leap, but 3rd age.
Yeah.
I do think that that's going to come into play. I, however, up until this point, thought the apocalypse didn't really happen. And I thought that the witches were going to go back and stop it. And this was going to be like, either it was like a time travel thing of like, this is what happens, but we go back and we like cease it. Or this is a vision of what could happen, but we're going to keep it from happening.
Yeah.
But at this point, I'm like, there's only 2 episodes left. Like, how much can they really like each of those scenarios would have to be an entire episode on its own.
I just kind of feel like he's just gonna pretty much just come into power, and then it's like the world is just gonna he's gonna like all the things that they were terrified of like him doing, like it's all just gonna pretty much happen. Like no, you didn't win. Like no, he pretty much took over. But
just because not as much happened this episode, which makes me think that means that they can't really do, like they didn't set up enough in this one to have all of that happen in just 2 hours.
I mean, you never know.
We'll see.
I don't know. I always say that, and then like they always throw me for a loop. I never know.
It's unpredictable.
Yeah.
Unpredictable.
So you guys
predictions.
let us know what you guys think, because clearly we don't know what's going to happen. So what do you guys think? Let us know. We will read your comments, all that great stuff.
And I think they will circle back to the 2 kids at the beginning. Like I think we're gonna see more from Timothy,
Emily and Timothy. Yeah.
I mean, I feel like they wouldn't have set that up without it circling back. If we never hear from them again,
That'll be kind of weird.
I'm gonna be pissed. Like I'm gonna be like, what? Why'd you do this? But if this is somehow tying back to the 2 alien babies, this is one thing that people said, oh, but if they hook up, are they brother and sister? Technically, no, they're not, because in Asylum, Jimmy wasn't their dad. They were impregnated by the aliens.
Okay.
So, and by 2 different women.
Right.
So each of them are half alien, but they're not technically.
They don't have the same like.
Yeah,
father.
they're not same like mom dad.
Okay.
So they
We'll
could
see.
still be those kids potentially with some sort of time. We've seen how ages can fluctuate now with Michael. So not my plan. I don't know.
I wonder how that's gonna tie in.
I'm interested. And again, as we said, we love hearing from you guys. One of the coolest things, though, is we love when you guys send us pictures and videos and stuff about how American Horror Story impacts you.
Yeah.
So we had a lot of fun dressing up in our Halloween costumes. But we had some of our viewers dress up as well. Penny Dragful
Oh my
did
gosh.
this
that.
epic. Look at this like beauty makeup
Amazing.
of being just. This is all based on this season. This is a post-apocalyptic. This is supposed to be somebody who's in the apocalypse wastefall.
Ooh.
cool.
And then look at this. She also does like the whole mask. Look at that.
Wow.
Snaps. Get it,
Come
girl.
through
Looks
outfit,
so
yes.
good with like the decrepit umbrella and like
Yeah.
the mask, everything. Oh, love it. Spot on. I dig it. And then I know I'm a little biased on
my
this
God.
one. Yeah. Okay. What do you
She
guys think it
wins.
is?
Cool.
That's my cousin.
Oh my God.
That's my cousin Jessica, who is phenomenal.
Can we get a little zoom in on the heads?
Yes. Oh my. Her brother Brian. Yeah, can
That
we
is
zoom
so
in on
cool.
this a little bit? Yeah, look at that.
Oh my God.
So she actually made a mold. She had her brother help her make a mold of her actual face
Shut up.
and then make 2 of herself so she could be Bet and Dot,
That is so cool.
and did a full and walked
creative.
around like all night, like head tilted to the side, like full bent neck lady style, like.
That is so creative.
wins Halloween.
I was about to say she won. Look.
Snaps to Jessica. It is announced.
Shout
you
out
have
to Jessica.
won
Yeah,
Halloween.
Jessica, you won Halloween.
You took first and second prize.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
But
Yes,
we,
that's amazing.
Again, love hearing from you guys. So please send us all of your pictures, and we'll put them on the show next week.
I was about to say it's not
Yes.
too late. You guys definitely let us know if you guys dressed up today. Even your kids, like we'd love to see the kids
Yeah.
too.
Unless you dress them up as something really creepy, and then
Keep it
oh.
American Horror Story themed.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, even like the creepy kids in American Horror Story, like I'm like little Myrtle Michael. I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't
Ooh,
think
I would
wanna
love
see
to
the
see
kids.
like one of like Constance's daughter, like with the eyes. You know what I mean? If somebody could do like something with the eyes, like that'll be crazy too. Like, ooh.
I might close my eyes to see the kids.
This was interesting though that this too wasn't a Halloween episode on Halloween. This is like one of the first times that we've had that, because we've always had a Halloween episode like Hotel and all the
Yeah.
other ones
Yeah.
referenced when it was Halloween. So I guess when the end of the world is impending, nobody has time to trick or treat.
Exactly.
But even with the world coming to an end fairly soon, we'll still be here. We'll be here next week and the week after for the last 2
No, even though our show
episodes.
is coming to an end.
And hopefully Jennifer will be back as well. You guys can, of course, follow her too at Jennifer
Yes.
Leon. And then where can everybody find you guys?
Start down here at the end. Look, I'm not Madison anymore. I'm Kayla Rene'e. You guys can follow me on Instagram at @the_Kayla Rene'e.
Yes, and you guys can find me, Ashley Allen, on all social media at Ashley Reid Allen.
And I'm Alana Jordan. You can find me on Twitter at Alana Jordan and on Instagram at that Alana Jordan Girl. And you can catch us back here next week on AfterBuzz TV. See you guys later. Bye.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.